What's going on? I'm Justin over at Las Vegas Harley-Davidson, and I am the general sales manager over here. My journey starting with Harley-Davidson is kind of a little bit different one, and to kind of understand, we got to take a few steps back, I think. So I grew up here in Las Vegas, and I was going to school here after high school, and I was in a philosophy class, and my professor and I, we butt heads every single time I was in that class. And the day that I ended up leaving, we were talking about self-criticism and how evaluating your own life is one of the hardest things you can do. And I was like, yeah, you know what? You're right. And as much as I hated it then, I think it's a really good, funny story now, because that's the day I packed all my stuff up and I totally changed my life path per se, right? So dropped out of college. I signed up for MMI, the Motorcycle Mechanics Institute in Phoenix, packed up all my stuff and went down there. While I was down there, the school was really helpful. We used to do on-campus interviews, and I still had over a year left of school, and Erica, who's our GM, and Gerald, who's actually the parts manager over at Red Rock, they came to the school to do interviews. And I walked in, and they said, hey, we're not really looking for technicians right now, because that's what I was going to school for. And I said, good for you, I don't really want to be a tech. So I just stayed in touch with them, and then after that, I finished school, and 3 days later, I moved back here to Vegas and then started selling bikes at Red Rock, and then just kind of went through the process, and here I am today. I've been here at Las Vegas Harley-Davidson, actually I think 3 or 4 days ago, made 1 year at this store, and I'm loving it, man. It's a great place to be. Typical day in the life of the sales manager here at Vegas Harley is I come in, I'm usually a few minutes late, don't tell my big boss that, but I come in, kind of get all ready for the day. I go through all of the leads that might have come in from you guys, searching for specific bikes or asking questions. I go through everything that we've been working on that week, right? So anything that you guys are interested in, I'm constantly searching for, trying to get the bikes in here for you. Basically, anything that goes on in this building with the selling or buying of motorcycles, that's what I do, right? So I come up with all the numbers, I help you secure financing, help with down payments and monthly payment options, all that sort of thing. So when it comes to getting on your new ride, whether you're paying cash or financing, you and I are probably gonna have some sort of conversation at one point or another. Favorite thing about my job, as cliche as it might sound, is introducing new riders to this community, right? I know how much it changed my life, and I've watched to see how much it's changed people's lives around me. And it's just an amazing thing. It's a great group of people that we all get together, really try to take care of one another, have a lot of fun in the meantime. And when I get to meet those customers that have been dreaming about owning a Harley their whole life, and then we sign paperwork and we get the bike out the door, and you can just feel like this sense of accomplishment. It just falls back on me, and honestly, it kind of gets me all choked up sometimes when I see really interesting people just achieving this dream that they've been working at for so long. The most rewarding part of the job, I believe, is just, it might be a little bit selfish, but it's kind of the encompassing feeling that I've had in a community like this, right? I've told this story so many times, but it really does happen very often. When I had my first bike, it's when I was living in Phoenix, I had a Sportster. I came back home to visit family, and on my way back, I stopped at a gas station in the middle of nowhere, and an older couple came from the opposite direction on a full bagger, and they got off the bike, never met these people in my life, and we sat there for 20, 30 minutes and talked about the weather and the riding that day and what I was riding, what they were riding, and that sort of thing. And that was my first taste of the Harley-Davidson life as a whole, and it just hasn't let me down since then. So it's just been really cool to be a part of that for so long. Yeah, of course I currently ride. I have several two-wheeled toys, but in terms of Harley-Davidson, I am starting to slim down a little bit, so I currently have 2 bikes. One is my 14 Street Glide Special, which we did that video on a couple weeks ago. That bike is sweet. I just took it on a really good ride this last weekend. Ran great with all that cool fueling stuff. And then, of course, my baby is the 1992 FXR that I have. It's old, it's slow, it's constantly broken, but it just has so many style points, and it is one of my favorite bikes I've ever had. Oh yeah, man. I tell people all the time, if I have the garage space for it, I'd own one of every single bike in here. That new Snake Venom color I think is super sweet, but believe it or not, the bike I'm most excited for is the Pan America that's coming out pretty soon. I did a lot of research on it for the motor company so that we were eligible for some things that are coming up, which we'll be able to share with you guys pretty soon. But it's going to be all the way set up. It's going to have all the good components on it for performance and styling and stuff. So that will be the bike I'm looking forward to most landing in my garage one of these days. This is one of the questions that I have a hard time with, especially when people are asking me this on like good places to ride, because, you know, living here most of my life, I know a lot of the good spots around here, but I can't say that I have a favorite one. I'm a big outdoors person. I like to get on the outskirts of town. I really like to head out to the lake. I really like to get up in the mountains and kind of just feel open. I'm not too much of the downtown sort of person. I really like to kind of connect with the outdoors and feel around what's going on with me. So pretty much anywhere not inside the city limits is my favorite spot to be. My favorite thing about Las Vegas, I think first and foremost is my family and friends are here. Right, the people that I care about the most, you know, they're all within 15 minutes of my house. But aside from that, Vegas is such a cool spot for so many different reasons, right? All of the different types of cultures are here. If you're into like bikes or cars or music scenes or whatever you're into, it's kind of like a miniature LA without as much traffic and people. And then on top of that, it's such a good central hub for other things. Utah's close, California's close, Arizona's close. I'm going there this weekend. Like, there's so many things to do that gives us a good central spot to go do whatever you're into, you know? So I think that's probably the reason I stay here the most. Thanks for listening to my video if you're still watching. But as always, you're more than welcome to come out here, check out anything. We have a great facility here. I'm really proud to call this place home. Like I say in all of the videos, you're more than welcome to come test ride the bikes. If you have any questions, ask myself, ask any of the guys. We'll take care of you, and hopefully we'll see you soon.